Right, B'Sha'a Tova. So resuming, we are Perek Dalet, Pasuk Bet. If in the last shiur we recalled how HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or the Neshama to the Nefesh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu to the Knesset Israel, praises the beauty for different reasons of the Nefesh or of the Neshama. We spoke about the value of the Talmidei Chachamim, which represent the front hair that go, and when they're put back, they sit on top of the braid, right? And this is basically what should guide, which is the Torah Kedosha, Chokhmat Torah, the direction of a person, which was what allowed Shlomo HaMelech to become who he became and to raise himself to the highest level of prophecies while retaining the vibrancy of the body. And then he starts Pasuk Bet, and he's going to give different comparisons and reasons that allowed him to continue this spiritual journey. And he says the following: Shinayich ke'eder haketzuvot. Your teeth are like a flock. Haketzuvot, right? The flock of the ewes, right? The animals. She'alu min harartza, that came out of being washed. The wool on it was being used to be washed in like pools. Yeah. Shekulam mat'imot, they all are similar, are equal to each other. Another understanding is they have twins to them. V'shakula en bahem, and they haven't lost one of them. Another understanding is that they're so tied together they never lost a baby, one of the offsprings. Shakula milashon shikul. Shikul is to destroy, to lose, to cut. Now, in order to understand the parallelism between what Shlomo HaMelech is trying to teach us and the teeth, Shinayich, right? Now we're praising the teeth of the Neshama, or the Knesset Israel, or of the Nefesh. Yeah? He says they are like a flock of ewes. Shinayich ke'eder haketzuot, and they are what a flock is all together. We said, right? They're tight, like we said in the last shiur. They stay all together. The shen, the teeth, in the Torah represents two things. It represents the ability to create specific intonations and sound and formulation of words. Right? When somebody doesn't have teeth, right? He doesn't have the teeth, and it's very difficult for the person to formulate and articulate words. So the teeth are instrumental to the clarity of the wisdom you're trying to share. If you don't have teeth, it is very difficult to share your knowledge, your thoughts with an individual. There's other ways of communication, hands, writing, but the conventional way to connect to a person by talking and teaching verbally becomes challenged without teeth. That's one reason why we have teeth. The other reason why we have teeth is to destroy, to break down the food in order for us to eat it, right? Andy, you're not so convinced.
Oh, yes, I got it.
Okay. Yeah. So the teeth also represent the kliya, the destruction, the consumption of food in order to be able to consume it. The Gaon Mivilna, on that pasuk, he says, teeth have something very interesting. Is that you have upper teeth, you have lower teeth, and each tooth is aligned with a tooth on top. Every lower tooth has a tooth that's aligned with the upper tooth, right? And he says the two teeth by nature they are strong and they are white. So says the Gaon, Shlomo HaMelech is referring in the comparison, in the parable that he's making to the teeth, to the Hayalim, to the soldiers of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the aspect a person needs to have when he's facing challenges or threats spiritually. Your teeth are all tight, they're all aligned, like the flock. And they are white, just like the wool of the ooze after they are washed. Right? It's all beautiful, it's all white. The teeth also are white. And we'll see what that represents in the soldiers of Am Yisrael, or in the soldier that everyone must have within him. Shekulah matimot, they are all straight, they are all aligned. Very important, because if the teeth are not aligned, it's difficult again to chew properly. It's difficult also to articulate properly. Yeah, when a person has a malformation of the teeth, it will affect his ability to chew and to eat, but also his ability to communicate. Here, Shlomo HaMelech is praising, HaKadosh Baruch Hu again, is praising the fact that all the teeth are aligned, meaning there is a common goal shared by all the teeth for one higher purpose. B'shakulah and ba'em, and you're not missing one tooth. There's not one of your teeth that is broken or missing. Says Shlomo HaMelech, says the Gaon Midina, this is referring to the soldier, like we said, that we must represent when we go to out protect our Avodat Hashem, when we're at war, when we're under threat, when we're under peer pressure influence. There has to be a dedicated part of our essence that is ready to go to war, to protect what we cherish and what we live for. He says, and this is based on 4 criteria. How do you build the warrior that's within you? He says you need 4 things, and we learn it from the warriors that used to go to Milchemet Mitzvah. Warriors used to go to conquer Eretz Israel. It was a mitzvah to conquer Eretz Israel, or when the warriors went to war with Yehoshua, right, against Amalek. It's a Milchemet Mitzvah. It's a war that is a mitzvah. Now, not every soldier is worthy and apt to go to war. There's prerequisites. The Gaon found 4 prerequisites. Prerequisite number 1, you have to have yichus. You have to know that you come from pure descendants. Why? Because in order to go to war, you need zechut avot. You need the blessings of your ancestors. You need to be able, at time of fear or of threat, raise your eyes to the sky and say, Elokai, Elokei Abraham, Elokei Yitzhak, Elokei Yaakov, the Father, the God of my forefathers, please be by my side and save me and help me. So, a direct connection of tefillah through the links of our hierarchy, of our yichus. That's the first and most fundamental prerequisite in order to go to war. From a logic perspective, you can imagine that if you don't have the proper yichus, if chas v'chalila, a person is a descendant of a mamzer, a descendant of a halal, a descendant of a goy, right? It's very hard to advocate and come and say, you know, I have a zechut. I have the zechut. No, people can always say, hey, who's your grandfather? You're going to come. But die that there's a big zechut in being a ger or in being a tzaddik, even though for grandparents, etc., we're not meyuhasim. But there is a challenge. There is a challenge compared to someone that has yichus that has clear lineage of tzaddikim, of zera kodesh, of pure descent, pure breed, like we say, right? That's number 1. Number 2, he has to be clean from sins, and if he did sin, he has to be ready to do teshuvah and has done teshuvah. So the second prerequisite is someone that is in touch with himself so much that he's careful of the action he's doing. And if he failed, he's honest enough to recognize that he failed and strong enough to do teshuvah for that failure. Number 3, he has to have a complete body. He cannot have any malformation or have lost a piece of his body. Just like the Kohen cannot go and do an avodah. We read it last Shabbat, right? He cannot serve in the Bet HaMikdash if he has a malformation. The same way, the soldiers of HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to Milchemet Mitzvah have to be complete.
What's the term for that?
Complete. They have to be complete.
In Hebrew, what is it?
Shalem.
Shalem guf.
Yeah, guf shalem. Now, we know that when there is a part of the body that chas v'chalila is lost or malformed, it is reflecting an issue spiritually, right? And if you tell me, well, what if a child or some person is born with that? Well, the Mekubalim already explained that at the time of formation, at the time of the procreation, Chaz v'shalom, at that time there was something that wasn't 100%, and that caused that. We're not going to go into the morality and ethics aspect of it, but this is what Chachmei Kabbalah say. So to be shalem, in a sense, is an opportunity and ability to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu completely, fully, from a spiritual perspective. And more so, the Chachmei HaMusar say, the more beautiful you are, the more refined you are, and the more you can serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu on a beautiful level. The more your avodah becomes cherished and beautiful in the eyes of Hashem. That's number 3. And the fourth element, you should not be influenced when you go to war by nice ladies that can, turn your head, or by avodah zarah, meaning your conviction and your target is so clear and your mission is so important to you that you will not allow anything distract you during your mission. Says the Gaon Vilna, when you have all 4, it's the power of the teeth. This is the power it takes to be a proper soldier and aligned, just like the teeth are aligned, to be aligned and strong to protect what? Not only what you believe and what you represent, which is what you verbalize, but also what you allow to penetrate your body, what you're allowed to eat, right? Usually, when you don't want to eat something, you close your mouth. The lips are easy to open. The teeth, they lock up, and it's harder to open the teeth than to open the lips. Now, just like the teeth can take something and grind it, so too a person must have, says Shlomo HaMelech, a warrior side of him that allows him to destroy any threats from his own growth on his path. Good?
Good.
All right. That's according to the Gaon Vilna. Another little point that is important to address is that, at least according to the Zohar Kadosh, we don't do it today because we don't have the proper focus to do it. But ideally, when we do the Amidah, if you pay attention, not only that we pray quietly, but according to the Kabbalah, you don't even allow your mouth to open and close. You say the words in a very, very, very hidden way. Why?
Why?
Because we don't want to use the teeth that are used to destroy to be part of our request to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we go and we ask for mercy and rahamim and beracha from Hashem, we cannot use a part of us that is here, that has a side of it that basically destroys.
Isn't it not considered like you're praying if you're not moving your mouth?
Not in the Amidah.
So only, but in everything else, you have to be moving your lips in order for it to be praying, correct?
Yes. Today, Bichlal, today, we don't even follow this, because in order to pray like this, you need to have such a high level of focus that you don't need to move the body, right? You don't need to move anything. Today we're not there. Today we need to move. That helps us focus and concentrate. We need to hear ourselves a little bit, so we know where we're holding in the tefillah. Yeah.
Yep.
If I would think in the teeth, I would think that I have to go to the dentist, and I would go anywhere.
I'll pull out all his teeth. Andy.
That's the.
It's funny.
That's according to the Gaon Mivilna. That's according to the Gaon Mivilna. The Malbim, he says that the teeth have something very particular. He says we have 15 teeth on top, 15 teeth in the bottom. And those 15 teeth, as the Malbim explained in the beginning of this perek, the teeth are made of part of the rejection from the body of minerals that the body does not want to keep. So it's like it's from lactose or whatever it is. Okay, he says that it consolidates itself, and this is what fuels the growth of teeth. And it says the teeth strengthen themselves from the fumes that the brain releases when a person thinks.
Wow.
So this is why a baby he's born, he doesn't have teeth, right? Because he doesn't think. The brain doesn't move. As the child becomes more aware and has more material to thought, so he slowly builds teeth. But those teeth, they're weak. They're weak. They're why? Because they're mainly fueled by imagination. Slowly, he builds more intellect, more analytics, more thought process, and that pushes away the teeth of the imagination, the weak teeth, and brings out the real teeth, which are the teeth that are emet, right? Build on emet and build on a real potential. And that's when you start teaching Torah, Mishnah, Gemara from the age 6 on. Slowly, the child will start growing new teeth all the way until he is bar mitzvah. And by bar mitzvah, usually, okay, most of his adult teeth are out, because now he is a real adult. Now he has the ability to be a real man. And those teeth will be reinforced by his thought process, by his intellect, by the fumes of the brain.
Rav, is there any connection between why some people grow in, particular teeth? Maybe, some people grow in not such nice teeth. Is there anything correlation with the thoughts?
There is definitely a correlation. There's definitely, he doesn't go into it right now. He's going to discuss about the malformation a little bit, but he's not going to dive into it so much.
Okay.
So he says, there is 15 ways in the Torah to learn the Mishpatim and the Hekeshim. The Hekesh is the what you learn from two words that are similar in two different Pesukim. There is 12 of them. Is the derech b'mishpat, the approach to the logic of the mishpatim of the Torah, of the rules of the Torah. There's 12 different ways to approach it, and there are 4 ways to understand from words in the Torah messages. So it's a total mechila. It's not 15, 16. 16 and 16. It's my bet. 16 and 16, right? 12 plus 4. So he says you have a total of 32 teeth. 32 teeth is the lev netivot ha-chokhmah. We spoke about it, Levanon. We spoke about Levanon, the 32 channels, right, of wisdom. They're represented in the 32 teeth that we have. 16 from the gum on top of the mouth and 16 from the bottom. And he says they must be aligned for the person to be able to formulate what he thinks he understands. Says the Malbim, if you cannot formulate clearly a thought, it means you don't understand what you think you understand. You only really understand and grasp a thought if you are able to convey it properly in words to somebody else. And he says, why are the teeth all aligned and one next to the other, like Shlomo HaMelech says? He says, these are the 32 channels of Chokhmah, the 16 and 16, right? You have the layer of Chokhmah, which comes from the source of knowledge, from the information, and then you have what you do with the information. This is the information, and this is what you do with the information. And together, if everything is aligned and you can compartmentalize, understand, connect to each channel, you develop a level of clarity. We call it in Gemara klorkeit. You understand in the slang of the Gemara. You develop a level of clarity that will allow you to use everything you learn in the Torah or any thought you have properly and adequately, and compare situations to the right source in the Torah. Okay? And then he says, "V'kulam matimot v'shakula en bahem." We brought 2 pirushim. One pirush is that no one is left out, no one dies, and the other pirush is is that none of their offsprings get lost. Right? That's the other understanding of the pasuk. According to the Malbim, v'shakula and bahem, nothing's lost. It's referring to the offspring. He says the life of your children is dependent on how strong and how useful your teeth are. What does that mean? He says, if you are strong enough to protect your children from what should not come inside their mouth, and you are communicative enough to convey and teach the Torah and the proper messages to your children, only then can you secure spiritual life to your kids. If not, if things are not clear, if your messages are not there, if you don't communicate properly, if the mouth is open to anything, okay, to be able to come in, you destroy the spiritual life of a child. So says Shlomo HaMelech, by praising your teeth are so aligned, they're so clean, they're so tight, they're not broken. He's basically saying this is how he was able today to give life to tomorrow. That's how he was able to continue the spiritual journey and allow it to progress versus living a moment in time that has a beginning and an end that is not depending on him. So the secret that allowed Shlomo HaMelech to expand the time bandwidth of his spiritual connection was due to the fact that he was able to be, on one end, a soldier protecting from the outside, but also be a source of communication and understanding that built for him the path to survival spiritually, also in the tomorrow, in the days, in the time that was in the future that was coming. Understood?
Incredible, eh?
But that's also, and the Malbim says, he says, if you are, it goes very far. If you are negative, or if you have bad thoughts, or if you have distorted thought process, it will affect your teeth. It will affect your teeth. So the hygiene of your teeth, if you will, or the strength of your teeth is somewhat dependent on your ability to control your intellect and your thought process.
Rob, is there you talk about the children. Is that a reason why when you have a dream with regards to the teeth?
Yes.
It's related to this?
Exactly.
Why do you look
The
at this
Gemara says when you dream of losing a tooth, chas v'chalila, it's a sign that it could be a sign that someone is about to pass on. It's losing life. Because the teeth is what brings life. The teeth is what allows life to continue. Losing a tooth is disconnecting to the.
I've had that dream many times.
Life, or to continue life.
Okay. But I was grinding. I've had that dream many times where I felt like my teeth were falling out, and then I woke up, I realized I was grinding my teeth.
Okay.
Grinding is one thing, but to have a dream lo alenu and see losing teeth is not a good sign. According to the Gemara, it's not a good sign.
We did the segula, it's okay.
Oh, I've had that dream before.
Chalom
Not
tov, chalom
recently.
shalom. Akol batel uvutan.
Not recently though.
But so again, the teeth are another very clear indication. It's a very clear indication of Chaim. Malbim, the Malbim. And when you think about it, if it's a byproduct of the fumes of your brain from a physical perspective, and the tool you use in order to take a thought and convert it into something that is crystallized in your brain by formulating it and by talking it and by explaining it properly, the teeth are the tool that gives you and secures life. It might be indirect, but it is definitely a critical aspect that allows you to live and bring life. And by the way, when we start the fourth perek, we start a perek of praising. Shlomo is praising, okay? How he continued this journey. Pasuk bet, after the general praise, boom, he praises the teeth. He praises the teeth.
You remember this?
Now, it's also interesting that the sheker is also in this world focused on teeth. People, right? They go out of their way to make sure that they have beautiful teeth when they smile, right? It's almost like a sign of ga'ava, right? It's a seal of approval. We need to have beautiful teeth. They go and they make them white and they go to it's a whole thing. It's a whole industry. Al pi asod, it's asur. If you go and you see the mekubalim, you see talmidei chachamim, you're going to see them. They're missing teeth, right? They're missing teeth. And you're like, what? You cannot just get a nice thing and then you look good. No, it's a sheker. The sheker.
I mean, Rob, if a mekubal has lost all his teeth, he's gonna go get teeth.
Huh? Go show me a talmid chacham, a real talmid chacham, okay? That went and made prothèse effective. Go show me. You're not gonna find. Now. I'm sorry.
No, we'll talk offline later.
No, okay. No, I'm saying, listen, look, I'm not saying that the aesthetic doesn't have an impact on the well-being of the person and his need to look a certain way or to be presentable a certain way. And therefore he goes, he needs to have nice teeth.
They need teeth in order to eat, and we said in the beginning of the shiur, you need teeth to speak.
Correct.
So how can we say that it's?
Yeah.
Very hard.
You can't formulate the thought. It means you don't understand it.
How can we say that?
If it's a tool again, if you use it to grind to eat, all right, and it's really that's why you're using it. So they will put a prothèse, okay, to grind the food. Or if you go, by the way, if you saw Rav Steinman or if you saw Chacham Ovadia, right, towards the end of their life, they would eat things that are very soft. Have you seen Rav Kaduri? He barely had teeth at the end.
Right.
Now, he couldn't make a prothèse. He could. Now, it at least to us, to us, we're still early, Baruch Hashem, in time. It's don't worry, Adam. No, it's coming. No, it's coming. It's coming. But we're praising the teeth. We're praising the teeth for what they represent. For what they represent. Okay, and to have healthy, strong teeth, we need to have a healthy, strong mind.
Is it safe to say if somebody has naturally has good teeth that they're on the right track?
It definitely has the right potential to be on the right track. I don't know if he's on the right track, but yes, definitely has the right potential to be on the right track.
Crazy.
That's a crazy thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we see what the Gaon writes. We see what the Malbim writes, right? We're not, Shlomo HaMelech didn't just praise, nice teeth for nice teeth. And by the way, at the time, I'm not even sure teeth were so like chashuv, at the time of Shlomo HaMelech. I don't know. They didn't have dentists. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Now the beauty is that we have 32 teeth. What?
I'm losing it. I'm going crazy.
Adam's losing his mind.
That represent the Chokhmah, the channels of Chokhmah, and within it, the 12 Darkei Mishpat, the 12 approach to the laws of the Torah, and the Arba Darkei Bina, and the 4 fundamentals to approach the Bina, to approach the analytics, right? So 12 plus 4 says the Malbim is 16. You have it from a knowledge from a knowledge perspective and from an analytical perspective. That's why we have the top and you have the bottom. You have the Chokhmah and you have the Bina. And each one has 16. Together to equal to the Lev, to the Lev of Levanon, to the Lev Netivot HaChokhmah. Now,
I don't know.
What?
Is 32 included in the wisdom teeth or no?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So wonder what the wisdom teeth are about, because you pull them out.
Yeah, that's why you pull them out. No, I don't know. I don't. He hasn't addressed the wisdom.
The wisdom teeth.
He hasn't addressed.
16 out the wisdom.
Yeah, you usually pull all of them out.
Yeah, the 4.
I did. Huh?
This is nowadays. Perhaps before they didn't do it.
They didn't.
Well, maybe
Maybe
they
they have 36. I'm going crazy.
I had that exact dream.
You counted your teeth now?
Adam's.
I think so. I'm not in the mirror, but I don't know.
No, exactly. So,
my hands in my mouth in the office.
So
walking around the office counting teeth.
Yeah. No, Baruch Hashem. So no. Again. So what we see is that from the Malbim, we can also understand what's the definition of a warrior according to the Rambam, to the Gaon, right? It takes the mastering and the importance and the right approach to the Chokhmah in order to be able to use it to protect yourself at time of war or threat spiritually. Now, it is the first praise according to the Gaon. It is the first praise to secure your journey spiritually, to be a good warrior, to be someone that is ready to go to war to protect your integrity, to protect your emunah, to protect your avodat Hashem. Forget about the rest. I mean, we're talking about teeth. We have lips to go. We have a lot to go.
We just spoke about the teeth.
Oh, Baruch Hashem.
Thank you.
Wait, are we still online?